Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? What is artwod? The best platform in the world for teaching how to draw from imagination, where they give you the work, not the shortcut. Work that lets you draw like this after, fuck me, god damn it. Work that lets you draw like this after 3 years and 7 months, right? I'm not a shill, I am a shill, fuck, I'm a dick writer, dick writer, right? Who am I? I'm Viggy, I've been drawing, fuck, I already said how long I've been drawing for. I'm Viggy, I aim to prove anybody can draw. This channel is a repository of my practice, right? Yes. Anyways, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Let's put in as much effort as we can. Because effort is the only thing that we can control. Absolutely the only thing. So please, draw along with me. Give me retention. Keep me on the background. Right, anyways, what are we on? We're rep number 13. What are we doing? We're doing the artwod portrait roadmap, right? I'm at the point where, and again, I'm doing like 500 times the fucking repetitions that they require because I'm building a foundation. I have noted that I can build an extremely strong foundation if I stop here and just fucking drill and then just solidify this mental model. This, everything you see here, right? Apart from the face, like this is the foundation I'm building for the face to lie on top of, right? And that's just a Loomis head, but I'm just going way more than what it requires because this is what I want to be able to see in my mind from any angle, right? So yeah, what are we doing? We're looking at a portrait reference. We are putting a box over that reference. We're putting center lines on every single vertical, horizontal, and diagonal cross axis or cross section of each visible and invisible plane, or I'm seeing through the box itself, right? I'm adding the ellipses inside this. I'm visualizing the center planes on all three axes. I'm visualizing the ellipses in perspective on all three of those planes, and then I'm connecting those planes, and that's where the sphere comes in, right? The ellipses. The edges of the ellipses, basically, when you connect them, that's what creates the perfect circle, which is the sphere. And that is the foundation I'm building, and it's gonna take me hundreds of hours. So let's draw. Let's draw. Right? Very difficult. Did not want to draw today. Kind of wanted to draw today. 50-50. Then I was talking to my friend, and it took too much fucking time to talk to him. But either way, what am I doing right now? I'm trying to visualize because this is actually like an angle. This is already like my brain is already really struggling to visualize this perspective right now. But I believe, and I do believe this is the angle, right? This is the angle that is to be visualized, right? Something like this is the box. Oh look, the pen's actually not being fucking retarded. It's working properly. Wonderful, wonderful. But obviously that's a bit too small. It has to be a bit wider. But this is the thing, right? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see this as well. I'm trying to see through the form, right? And then, we're adding all the cross axes and everything. I think this is actually pretty accurate when I think about it, right? On each visible and invisible plane, all that shit. This, whatever. But yeah, I guess I'm done doing the call to action. Fucking draw along or fuck off, keep me on the background, give me retention. But anyways, I'm just trying to, first step right now is just trying to visualize the box and trying to ignore this drawing underneath, which is an obstruction to my visualization and calculation, right? But the first step is I'm just trying to visualize the box, and I'm trying to see the entire box, and I'm trying to see through the form of the entire box, and it's actually working pretty well. And, well, I can actually see it pretty well. Like, it's like a solid 30 to 40% clear, right? Which is a fucking milestone for me, I'll be completely honest, because I can I can't really visualize, right? Funny enough, like, I can see things pretty vividly in my mind, but when it comes to actually visualizing, it's fucking dog shit. So what do you have to do? Put hundreds of hours to make it less dog shit, right? Simple as that, of actual intentional effort, not fuck around effort, but actual intentional effort, right? Which is what you have to constantly do, because right now my brain immediately is in extreme friction and it doesn't want to do this. I literally don't want to think right now, because why would my brain want to think? Why would it want to create something out of nothing, right? Why would it want to actually improve? The brain loves being complacent, but the funny thing is the brain loves achieving, right? The brain loves feeling good after effort, right? Which is full of friction, which it initially avoided. So let's draw. Yeah, body doubling I think is the other thing, right? Just fucking use me as a body doubling tool. But it's extremely uncomfortable. And again, I keep oscillating back or shifting back between looking at the reference and trying to think about the box that it's encompassed in, right? And then looking at, or going back to my page and be like, okay, I think this is how it is, right? Because we can see a good amount of the top of this guy's head, right? So I just have to make that connection myself and be like, okay, what is the perspective? Like, literally, what is the perspective, right? And his head is tilted, it's like this. It's like this. It's top-down perspective and his head is tilted like this, right? It's not this, it's this. And I'm just reinforcing this to myself more than anything. But yeah, the first 5 to 10 to maybe even 15 minutes of an art practice is always going to be the most difficult because basically you're sort of, it's like you're warming up in a sense, right? You're warming up your and again, while I'm talking, I'm thinking. I'll be very clear. I'm constantly trying to think about the box. Am I succeeding? No, I'm failing miserably. But that's the thing. It's extremely difficult to talk while thinking, right? But the first 15 minutes usually for me is just me really getting warmed up, and this is where I have to fucking actively force my brain. Right? I have to actively force my brain to put in effort, right? I mean, you always have to actively force your brain to put in effort, but this is the hardest part. This is where this is where the most amount of inertia exists, right? Am I saying that right? Inertia is like when you're not moving, right? So this is where you feel the most amount of inertia, right? Where you just want to stay where you are. But this is exactly like now I'm really leaning into trying to see X, Y, Z, trying to see the other inside of the plane, because that's the biggest thing. Is like I'm constantly forcing myself to think through the planes, right? Think through the form. Sorry. And right now, like if this is the box, right? Like let's say this is the box roughly, right? That I am essentially trying to visualize. You see how I start with this XYZ, like the visible version? What I'm constantly forcing my brain to do is, no, like start with this instead. Like tell yourself that this is the box and then build outward, right? And then, so that way, like I'm constantly forcing myself to start with seeing through the form, to start with the more difficult part, right? And that is actually doing wonders for me right now, because when I'm looking back here and I'm constantly trying to think about the form, just the fact that I'm doing, because it's an upside down, right? It's like if this is the Y, as I think Irshad Karim, Uncomfortable, the creative Drawbox calls it, right? Irshad Karim, there you go, that's a better way to pronounce his name, as in the correct way. Like this is the Y, right? Which is the XYZ axis. It just looks like a Y. But this is literally just the opposite. It's just upside down, right? It's just reflected, I guess. It's not the opposite, but it's reflected. So if I think about that first, right? If I think about that first, that in of itself already sets the precedent that I can build outward, because it's easy for me to build outward and see the actual form that exists. It's more difficult to start inward on the form that does not exist, right? Or that is not seen, sorry, that is not seen, not that it does not exist. Again, you're gonna hear me fuck my words up, stutter all the time, because I am actively thinking very, very, very hard, right? Like I'm taxing, this is a working memory skill. Art is a working memory skill. So I'm taxing my my prefrontal cortex, and in unison I'm using my parietal lobe to narrate all of this, right? Those two things are at odds. They're both vying for the resource, which is astrocytic glycogen, which is what your brain uses as an energy resource towards these parts of your brain in order to be able to try, not even to be able to actually achieve, because achievement is never part of it, but to try visualizing, calculating, all that stuff, right? So I'm gonna really try to lean into this right now. I'm gonna really try to lean into this and get this box right, because I really do want to get this box right. Again, like urgency is a good way. It's not about like being impatient, but having a sense of urgency does help with neuroplasticity as well, from what I know. So like I'm just trying right now, really trying right now to get this box down, and I need to think about it as converged as well. Like we need to think about this box and make it a bit larger too, right? We need to think about this box converging and make it a bit larger. I'm really trying to see through the form. This is helping a lot, by the way. And by the way, I haven't even thought about the cross sections or anything yet. Just trying to see through the form, right? I can think about the cross sections after. And again, this drawing in the background is a huge obstruction. I'm in extreme discomfort right now. This is the place that I love to be in, where I feel a huge pit in my stomach, right? But this, and again, I'm going back to the reference. Now I'm going back here, and I have to again rebuild it. Just kind of like not as a snap. But the point is, I have to reconstruct it as fast as I can, right? And now I'm trying to also think about the cross-axis, right? Or the cross-sections. I think the cross-section, not cross-axis. Yeah, it's cross-section, right? No, is it cross? Fuck, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Whatever, I'm just trying to think about the center lines, right? Diagonal, vertical, and horizontal, right? This, right? This, that shit. But, in the plane, in perspective, right? But, yeah, hold on. Let me take a step back. Okay, now I'm trying again. I'm trying again. I'm trying to think about the perspective. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to recall the perspective of the box that the portrait is placed in, right? I.e., the perspective of the portrait that I'm using as reference. But I'm not trying to look at that right now. I'm just trying to recall it and to think about how it is constructed. Again, seen through first, right? The planes that we cannot see. I'm trying to think about that, and then I'm trying to think about building it outward, right? I'm trying to build it outward. This is very taxing on my mind. And now that I've gotten that roughly, I am trying to. Okay, so I just looked at the reference again just to make sure. Now that I got that roughly, I am trying to think about all the cross sections that exist on every single plane at once. So all 6 planes, right? And that is extremely taxing to the mind. That is That's extremely taxing, and I can't really see it that well, but yeah, I'm just trying to think about this cross-section. I'm losing everything at once, by the way. I'm losing everything at once, but I'm really trying to see these cross-sections. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. Again, it's all mental. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm doing so much less physical drawing, and I'm just thinking so much, right? So, you know, my motor skills may suffer, which is why I tried doing, like, a little bit of drawing on the side, outside of this, maybe. I don't fucking know, I'm just bullshitting. I do it on the weekends a little bit. But thankfully, my motor skills have not suffered drastically yet, even with mostly thinking at the, which is my drawing currently, right? But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again. And I actually think I got the perspective completely wrong. So I have another beautiful opportunity to think about the perspective. And I'm gonna ghost. Obviously, I'm gonna ghost because I really want to get this down. Right, but I have a beautiful opportunity to think about. And again, you can see well, you can't see what I'm telling you right now is I'm starting on the outside, and I need to be starting on the inside. Right, and I'm looking at the, there you go, and it needs to be larger too. Yeah, this top plane needs to be a lot larger, so let's start on the inside. There you go. And now I'm building outward, right, which is something like, it's going out here, this is the top plane, again, and then I think it's, just ghosting in of itself is giving my brain a headache. But you see how, like, I keep bringing it down, so I need to make sure that the existence of this box is higher up here, next, closer to the 13th, because I also want to practice placement while thinking about proportion, right? Placement and consistency of placement and consistency of proportion and consistency of size, right, of the overall shape with relative to the proportions that it has within it are all important, right? And they're all very difficult. They're all extremely difficult, which I'm still very, very, very mediocre at, which is good because that means I have an opportunity to be better, right? It's just that these are all opportunities to be better. But right now I feel an extreme pit of discomfort in my stomach again, right, while I do this, and I'm really trying to think about the box, and I'm going back a little bit back and forth between looking at the reference and looking at the box, and like visualizing the box, because I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I'm really trying to understand the. I'm just looking at the reference right now, and I feel extremely uncomfortable because I'm trying to put the box over this guy's head, right? Because his face technically is the sphere, right? Like the first top half of this face is the sphere, so I have to bring the box out a bit larger. I have to think what it would be positioned like. Oh my god, bro, I'm so uncomfortable. I think Parquet commented on my latest video being like, wow, that discomfort you feel is extremely relatable. Well, it's true. This is the discomfort most people who constantly try to be better feel, right? And again, art is so fucking difficult. Spatial reasoning, GG no re, right? Spatial reasoning is one of the most difficult things we could do, right? And again, I keep bringing the outside of the box rather than visualizing the inside, right? But I'm trying really hard to visualize this box because, like, I want to get and again, like, because this is an obstruction, this drawing in the background is an obstruction, right? The better I get at just visualizing the box and seeing through the box, the better I will be at being able to think about the cross sections, right? So once again, I got the angle wrong, which is good, and I'm just forcing myself to feel good, even with this giant pit of discomfort in my stomach and like constantly trying to visualize and barely being able to see anything, right? I need to start from the bottom. Now we're here, but anyways, I need to start from the bottom, as in like the inside, right? The seen through plane. And I need to think as much as possible, right? I need to think as much as possible about the overall form. And I'm trying really hard. I'm trying really fucking hard to calculate this, right? And I feel as if I'm getting closer in terms of like understanding the box in of itself. And I'm trying to think about the back plane, the bottom plane, the side plane, and then now the front plane, the top plane, then this left side plane, right? And it's the left side plane is like extremely vague, but I'm trying to see it to the best of my ability, right? Oh my god, bro, this is exactly what I need. And like, because I can't see at all, right? But I'm leaning into this discomfort as much as possible, And now I'm going to try to add cross sections to it all, which is extremely difficult. Again, this schema, I don't know. Who knows how many hundreds of hours it's going to take me. I'm going to rest my brain right now, and then I'm going to try again. This is going to be the last time I think I'm going to try to just visualize the box before I move in and actually start making the marks, right? But, oh, let's rest our brains, Jesus. Also, the reason this is also fucking difficult is because this is a new schema, right? As in, and a schema is a mental model, right? And what I mean by this is a new mental model is because I'm interleaving technically by changing the angle every time, right? I'm forcing my brain to create a new, like to essentially have this model, but like rotate it in this angle, right? And that is a lot of work. That's a lot of mental work. That's a completely new angle with completely new calculations, right? And ratios and all that shit that has to be made familiar with, right? That has to absolutely be made familiar with. So again, I'm looking at the reference right now and I'm just trying to figure out. Oh my god, yeah, that pit of discomfort, bro, that is insane. Okay, I want to be very explicit. So if you go to my This is a Video for Beginner Artists, You Are Not Alone, right? And it's in my year 1 to 2 playlist. And that video is basically all the fundamentals work I did in my first year and a half to 2 years, roughly, right? I think there's like a little bit that's missing, but overall, that's basically all the fucking work I did for the first 2 years of practice, right? Like that is the fundamentals work that has laid the groundwork for me to have the abilities that I have now and like catapulted off of that, right? And everything is fucking cataloged on my channel, absolutely everything. So after that, like, you know what I've done, like it's all there. But those first, like, you know when I said I went through extreme friction and it was extremely difficult and that's what forced me to change my mindset and everything? I'm going through that right now. Like this, for like the past fucking 60, 70 hours, and now for the future 100 to 200 minimum hours, like that experience of just a pit of discomfort in my stomach, and this is 10 times worse because there's 10 times more calculations and because I'm fucking narrating it while I'm doing it, right? But like, and right now, like I'm really trying to see see through the form, like the what's it called, the Y, I guess, XYZ, but like the seen through versions, right? I'm really trying to make it as accurate to the see, I'm doing the fucking outside again, but like I'm really trying to make it as accurate to the reference as possible, right? And Jesus Christ, it is extremely difficult. It is extremely difficult to do this, and it's amazing. I'm glad it's extremely difficult, right? But that pit of discomfort, like this is like me actually verbalizing. This is basically what I went through for hundreds of hours during those first 2 years, and I'm gonna go through it again. But I want to be very clear, like this extreme discomfort of just creating something out of nothing to an extent which my brain could not even fathom to begin to chunk it together, like just like it was with just seeing, I say quote unquote just, by the way, but just seeing the plane and then the ellipse inside that plane, right? Which I still struggle with a lot, but like, and then, you know, seeing a cylinder, but every time I draw a cylinder, knowing that yes, I'm drawing a cylinder, but what I'm actually thinking about is this, right? Which is the box, you know, and at like a much larger scale, like that. The amount of discomfort that I felt there is the same I'm feeling right now here, like to how difficult this is. And I keep losing the perspective, and this fucking drawing in the background is such an obstruction, I just have to ignore it, just keep seeing and keep calculating. I'm trying to see the cross sections now, vertical, horizontal, diagonal. I'm really trying to see it, right? And my eyes are so warm because my brain is not consolidating this information, and it's really making the box squish. Like it's making the top plane like that thin when obviously it should be a lot larger like that, right? And I don't know actually if that's obvious at all. I feel as if I still got the angle down, completely wrong for this, right? So we just have to try. That's all we can do is just try, right? So I'm gonna put the first line down, and this is obviously gonna make things easier, which is for better or for worse. I mean, I always think everything that's easy is a detriment, but that's just my mentality. I just want things to be fucking hard, and yeah, like that's just the way I think. And I made this box way too fucking big. Jesus Christ! Why do I make the goddamn boxes so big, bro? But that's the angle, right? And then I just have to think, like, what is the box inside of this? Like, what is the box? Right? What's in the box? What's in the box? Anyways, but I have to really think now, because like this is helping me think about the box that I'm making, right? But this is a bit of a skewed box, so I know this exists, right? And I don't know if I'm doing this at the right ratio as well, right? I actually don't know if I'm doing this at the right ratio, right? But we'll have to see, you know, because this is a bit of a skewed angle, And then I'm trying to think. This is where like me thinking about the convergences comes into play, right? Because this does need to be a relatively decent box, but let's do something like this first, right? And then we'll do this, so that's converging. And I'm trying to think, like before I even make the mark, right? I'm trying to think like where is the other side, right? Is this as good of a cube as it could be? Answer is no. So I need to make that a little bit larger. I'm thinking a lot right now. I'm really thinking about like the entire form. I'm really trying to see the entire form through to the best of my ability while I'm doing this. And there you go, something like that, right? We need. I want, I guess, a bit more drastic convergence, just a bit more, but in the same vein, right? I do want it to still look relatively decent. And again, try not to make the convergences too drastic. And while I'm drawing these lines, I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to zoom out. I'm just trying to think about the entire seam through form, right? Like that's already very drastic. Like what I've done here, like this is already very drastic. This is a bit too drastic in my opinion, right? So my box is gonna be fucked up a little bit, but this is actually pretty good. I definitely am glad that I recognize that, no, like this needs to be larger, right? Like this is actually going to converge quite a bit though, because this convergence and this convergence, that's basically along the same line of convergence, right? So I need to make sure that's followed. And while I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about the back plane. While I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about this top plane, right? And now I can actually pause and just think about all the cross sections. So this is basically what I was trying to visualize, right? This is what my brain could not visualize, but this is what I was trying to visualize, right? And let's see, we need a little bit of convergence for this top line here as well, right? And if I'm going to make it that drastic here, I'm just going to have to commit to making it equally as drastic over here, right? And then we close it off like so. Now this is not a great, I don't think this is a perfect cube in perspective, to be honest. I definitely think it has issues, right? For sure. Like these side planes I think could have been even larger. Now that I think about it, like this could have been extended outward even more. And that actually would have been like, I think, decent, right? If I extend this side plane out a little bit more, right? That would have been a better box, in my opinion. I think that's actually more accurate. And now I feel good because that's something that I can be aware of, right? Which is, it's hard to understand exactly how much something should be foreshortened when it is in perspective where foreshortening exists, right? Or not even foreshortened, just like how much the degree of the plane should be tilted, how narrow should it be, right? Like what is actually happening with the box in of itself, right? And this I feel as if is okay, what I did here, but either way, now I'm just trying to think about the overall. I'm trying to see through the form again. We're trying to see inside the form because this is what I was constantly trying to see. And this is pretty accurate to what I was seeing, but the thing is, like, this is not an accurate mental model, but this is accurate to what I was trying to see. So that means at least my visualizations were decent, right? And again, I can only see it like 20-30% of the time, but I'm just trying to I'm going to really grind my brain to try to see every single plane, right? Visible and invisible. And then I'm going to try to see the center lines. And again, my brain immediately wants to make this back center line, back line in general, right? This one, right? That's converging to this point. My brain is just making it go this way. So that's inaccurate. I have to constantly keep first by ghosting, right? And then again, this has to be accurate too, right? So this one also has, it's a wider degree, right? But also like not ghosting. I have to be able to really visualize and really see that, right? And this is grinding my brain just to make sure that I can see this connection, this internal XYZ axis, right, that we don't see. Like that's fucking grinding my brain. And I keep making mistakes because again, even with this plane, right, or this line that's following this this convergence, right, my brain is making it go this way. It's making it like completely go opposite. And it's like, nope, I have to keep reshifting it. And again, like while I'm focusing on reshifting this, I still have to keep making sure that these are connected properly as per the convergences that are occurring, or the vanishing points, right? That vanishing point, this vanishing point, this vanishing point. So extremely difficult, but I'm just gonna lean into that a shit ton and try to see all the cross sections to the best of my ability. For the next 20 seconds. So it might be a bit silent. Maybe I'll like explicitly state what I'm trying to see. But right now, like again, like I'm losing it. This line here is like too long and it's not connecting properly. But I'm really trying to really trying to bring it in together, this plane, and I'm gonna try to lean into that as much as possible while now thinking about all the cross sections. Right now, while now trying to like just zoom out and just see every single cross section that exists. Voice crack that exists. Right. And like this is me basically, I'm trying to like holistically see all the cross sections that exist, but obviously I'm struggling immensely with that, right? Struggling absolutely immensely with that. Just for a second, I saw the center line, I was calculating that, but again, I need to see it on the opposite side. I keep calculating on the visible plane, but I personally believe that my spatial reasoning will be stronger when I calculate on the invisible plane, right? The sides that we don't see, because that's actually going to make me much more intimately aware of what actually exists, right? Like what actually exists. So this is extremely difficult, right? Because not only am I doing the cross axis, I'm thinking about the center planes as well, because I'm trying to grind my brain to that degree. And again, like that's not even counting the fact that I keep making the seam through form in general incorrect. But that's why the ghosting helps, right? But then that's why you stop the ghosting. Like you hold this as an anchor point for a second, and then you stop it, and you're like, okay, visualize, right? Very fucking difficult. Really trying to hold this shit together. And I can only about see through the form right now. All the cross axes are gone. Cross sections, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I guess cross axis is gone, right? And now I'm trying to see. I'm trying to hold it all together. I'm trying to see the cross axes again per every single plane, visible and invisible. Okay. My fucking eyes were getting blurry there at the end. I'm gonna rest my brain now. I encourage you to do the same. What's it been? 25 minutes. I didn't even realize it's been 25 minutes. But yeah, 25 minutes for essentially an incorrectly drawn box in perspective. But it's about the mental model that we build, right? It's about the mental model that we build that matters more. Like, genuinely, this should have been a lot longer. Like, I can actually fix it right now. Right, like, this is much better. This is a much more accurate box. I still think it could be even larger, right, in terms of the sizes of the planes on these two sides, but that's much more accurate. Right, like this, in my opinion, is definitely much more accurate when it comes to the perspective. Might as well just make this my new box, right? Another thing about learning, I've been learning about is the fact that making the mistake and then correcting it, like doing it incorrectly and then doing it correctly, is a great way to also reinforce to your brain like how, like if like to actually reinforce the correct mental model you're trying to build. Right, I wish I didn't flounder with this line work here, because now it's kind of like blurry here at the edge and it looks dumb, but it's what it is. But this is already like so much more accurate, right? Like this is already so much more accurate, for sure. Because there's more depth, right? Because the cube is obviously like it's even sides, and this is the depth here is it's not as shallow, right? Which is good. But obviously now like this fucking line I made is an obstruction, but I just gotta ignore it, which is fine. I think I can ignore that much better. But I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well, and we'll get back to it. Alright, wunderbar. Yeah. And yes, Parkit, I am German. Because Parkit is one of my fans, for anybody who doesn't know, right? These are basically like my OGs. You know, when this channel blows up, I'll never forget any of them. I'll just throw them to the curb and pretend like they don't exist. But I'll never forget that I pretended they didn't exist. But no, I mean, like, these are the OGs. So Parkit's been there since like my fucking 5th video. I don't even know, but... And we actually drew together on Discord. It was really cool. Right, probably gonna do that again this weekend. But like, he just commented on one of my videos because I said wunderbar. He's like, oh, you're wunderbar German, I see. I was like, yes, das vidania, yes, quite, sim salabim. Right, but he's German, that's why. That's why he's like, oh, you spoke the language of my people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good shit. Right, but that's it. There's nothing else to the story. Anyways, I'm back to... Oh, I really want to grind my brain. I mean, what a fucking surprise that Biggie wants to grind his brain, right? It's the only fucking thing he ever wants to do, but... and you're capable of doing that as well. Let's not forget, right? Bless me. But, what's it called? Yeah, again, shout out to Parkit, the real OG. My girlfriend wants to invite him to our wedding. I'll have to see. Yeah, so if you're here, I'm just saying, bro, it's pending. I don't know, like, when we're gonna... Probably, like, a few years, but... yeah, perhaps I'll invite you, you know, perhaps I'll be like, haha, look at that, you invited via YouTuber meetup, right? But anyways, fucking all that bullshit aside, I am thinking, my goal right now is like, I want to see through the form, right? And this actually makes a lot more sense now. Like this depth that I've created makes a lot more sense. 100% makes a lot more sense, right? Obviously, again, there is an issue where this is converging quite drastically to a vanishing point, but then this is staying essentially parallel. But this line is staying parallel to this line. So that is a problem, and that is just a genuine, a bona fide mistake. Yeah, fuck, my iPad's low battery. Let me charge that shit. That's what I'm using for my portrait reference. Is it charging? Oh, it's charging. Cool. But yeah, I think also like this side of his face is too it's too visible. Like this plane, should have made it less visible. But again, you live and you learn, right? And again, I'm glad that I'm at least like starting to practice more with these extreme angles, which that helps a lot. But either way, you just gotta ignore it. This is a mistake, right? This being basically parallel with this line, right? Not really having that convergence that the back line is having. But now the main thing is I'm actively trying to see through the form, trying to see this, right, this back, and I'm trying to calculate, I'm gonna calculate the back planes first, like the invisible planes as a cross sections, right, the diagonal, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, vertical, fucking, or is that horizontal, vertical, horizontal, I don't fucking know, bro, and then, diagonal, no, fuck, I did the top by accident, yeah, this one, right, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, this one, right, this one, and when I'm ghosting, I honestly should be slower with my ghosting, because you can see, otherwise I'll fuck it up quite drastically, right? But yeah, this one, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, and then that carries over here, right? Diagonal, vertical, horizontal. Look at that, actually, like I can slow down my speech, that's incredible. And then this one, diagonal, and then vertical, horizontal. And then that is what I need to really just grind my brain to see, right? So like I'm trying my best, I'm really trying to see it all at once right now. Just on the invisible side, not even on the visible side. And now I'm trying to see it on now I'm trying to see it on the visible side as well, and that is where it's really taxing my brain. Because again, this is the schema I'm trying to fucking see in my mind, this goddamn monstrosity, right? And I say that in a good way. Obviously I'm being hyperbolic, I'm being facetious, I'm being whatever the fucking other words that are necessarily fancy to use, right? But that is what I'm trying to see, is like that entire schema. I'm trying to build that in my mind, right? And it gets easier to see the different layers as I continue to draw those different layers, especially once the box is completed. And again, while I'm speaking, I'm really thinking about this, and you have to know that I'm constantly losing the consistency and the placement of just the planes, let alone the cross axes, that the diagonal, vertical, and horizontal cross axes that are being applied to them, right? So it is extremely difficult, and that is why I am nutting. Oh boy, I am nutting. But this is like actually so incredibly difficult, because I need to lean in. Again, I need to lean in and see everything. I need to see it all, right? If I see it all, yeah. Oh, AOT. I know I kind of like moaned there at the end. Oh, yeah. But no, my own inability to end a sentence while singing aside, and to speak and anything is like, I'm really trying to fucking visualize all of this at the same time. This is extremely cognitively taxing, which is why like the only thing that matters, and funny enough, my friend actually reached out to me, called me today. He's like, he's struggling with goal setting and all that stuff, right? We had a long talk, right, which is what I was doing before, basically before I pulled up to the drawing. But the one thing I told him, and it's like constant reminders, I want to give you guys a reminder too, is like, whatever frame you have for your success, your learning, your mentality, everything, these are things you have to constantly remind yourself, right? Because you're not going to know it just by doing it once. So the constant reminder I keep giving myself is the fact that this effort that I'm putting in is, one, all that matters, and B, reflective of the person that I'm becoming, right? Emphasis on the B and then the coming. So this is really all that matters. Like this effort that I'm putting just to see these invisible planes, and then to like see the fucking cross sections, which I'm struggling with, like the back one, right? This the one that's reflected off from this visible one, this back one, right? Struggling to see that, right? Struggling to see when struggling to hold it as like the plane that's actually consistent, while then like trying to see this diagonal, vertical, horizontal, and then this bottom one, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, right? Like that, and then like project it outwards and see it on all the visible planes as well. Like this is extremely taxing on my mind. Like this is genuinely very taxing on my mind. Now I'm trying to see all the center planes too, actually, because I have to be able to see the center planes, right? Like, and the center plane, like this fuckery is basically like another really insane part of the visualization that I have to do, right? Which is this, right? But this is basically like, this is like a schema. This is like a 3 center plane solidified schema I have to build, because that's where the ellipses are, right? And again, you can see I drew this one way too small, right? But that is something I have to hold in my mind and I have to build, right? And the only way I can see these center planes and these center lines is by constantly having the diagonals be accurate, right? So it is incredibly difficult, and that's why all I can ever focus on for now and forever is this is the skills you're building. These are the skills you're building to the asset that you are becoming, right? The person you're becoming. The value is in the effort you're building because it is turning you into a person that is capable of putting this effort in, right? And the biggest thing I can tell you is, oh, I just saw it for a split second. I saw through the form and I saw the back this back one's diagonal like the cross axes, right? Somebody commented saying actually I'll get to that after, but let me lean into this a little bit more. But yeah, like this is all we can keep telling ourselves, right? Because skill acquisition is inherently difficult. Difficult skill acquisition, what a fucking surprise, is inherently more difficult. And in my opinion, the most difficult skill acquisition of them all is top tier draftsmanship and spatial reasoning abilities, right? Like that is basically a giant middle finger to your brain. And right now, like I'm trying to see, and I keep trying to see on the outside, but I need to be able to see this center plane here, right? Like this center plane, again, that's based on this diagonal. And you can see this line is an obstruction because this diagonal here, this is where like the center plane is, right around here, right? And it's obviously it's based on my vertical and my horizontal as well, but like that right there's like right around here. So that's where my center plane exists. But I need to be able to see that on the other side before anything, right? And again, my mind is making this where my central, like that line is where it ends, but no, it's back here. It's larger now. It actually has like the plane is larger in and of itself, right? So whew, yeah, but this, I'm grinding my brain. I'm really leaning into it and I'm feeling extreme discomfort. I'm telling you right now, like I'm really trying to lean into it and I'm really trying to see, oh my god, I'm really trying to see all the cross axes, like invisible and visible, and like on the invisible and visible planes, right? And this right here, this shit right here. I don't know why I said it like that, but this is like you need to lean into this. This feeling of extreme friction has to be leaned into. Like without a fucking doubt, it has to be leaned into, right? And that is what creates, like that is literally what creates the ability. Like this is what's my brain, my working memory is absolutely taxed. Everything's firing off. Right? I'm not ghosting right now, but like just know that what I was ghosting, what I still am ghosting, and like constantly trying to see in my mind is every single invisible and visible plane, or invisible plane, and then all the cross section on these invisible and the visible planes, right? And I'm in output regression right now. So my astrocytic glycogen, the energy reserve ceiling has been hit, and my brain is sputtering, for lack of a better word, to see anything, let alone to calculate, even like fucking iota of what I want to calculate, right? And this right here is where my brain is in heightened neuroplasticity, right? This is exactly where acetylcholine, norepinephrine is being released. This discomfort right here, like this, and leaning into it, I'm attaching dopamine to these errors, right? I'm feeling really good about them. I'm attaching dopamine to this, and this is exactly where my brain's like, we need to learn something. Like this attachment of dopamine, this feeling good about these areas is signaling to it that we need to pay attention, because this guy's like been getting flashes of seeing the cross section, but right now you can barely see through the form end of itself and get it down accurately, because he's trying to calculate it accurately as per the convergence for this vantage point and this vanishing point and this vanishing point. He's trying to calculate it, and then once he gets this, his brain is struggling a lot to hold it all together while then calculating the diagonal, horizontal, vertical on all invisible planes that exist on the three, and then the visible planes that exist at the same time. Like we need a schema for this, we need a mental model for this, something needs to happen, right? And now I take a step back, whew, and I rest my brain, goddamn, and I encourage you to do the same. Good old villager noises, right? From Minecraft. But yeah, I'm telling you, like trying is really all that matters. Like genuinely, trying is all that matters. And I tell that to me and I tell that to you as well, because there's nothing else. There's actually nothing else. And once you understand that learning is science and that we can actually engineer the science, right? Again, attaching dopamine to errors, being aware that you're an output regression, being aware that your brain has a limited energy reserve, being aware that when you are trying your hardest and seeing the littlest or the fucking least, Jesus Christ, when you're trying your hardest, you're seeing the least, calculating the least, performing at the least, outputting at the least, doing the least, right? Making the most mistakes, but you're trying so hard and you're really trying to keep all these things in your mind, i.e. your working memory, which is at its limit, you are an output regression. And when you feel good during these moments, which happens all the time, by the way, there will be like mini output regressions and major ones where like everything just goes to shit, right? But like you're constantly calculating, but when you're failing consistently and everything's going to shit, at any moment where you notice any sort of error, when you attach dopamine, your brain will 100% without a doubt find that as a signal to pay attention, because the brain doesn't know, hey, this man's attaching dopamine. All the brain knows is that a feeling is being, like a chemical is being released, which is dopamine, and that is occurring when acetylcholine and norepinephrine is also being released, right? And it is occurring during a moment of peak discomfort and friction, right? Something is trying to be accomplished in this brain, right? In this case, what the fuck? In this case, spatial reasoning, right? What are the signals? What part of the myelination, right, which is your myelin sheath getting stronger, right, which is your synapses, your fucking neurons, whatever, like what parts of your synapses need to be pruned in order to make this connection more efficient? This could all be fucking, like, I could be completely fucking up the order of these things, but the point is, because like I don't know the full science behind it, right? I'm like a fucking half-ass scientist. This is better than bro science, but worse than actual science, right? Because I'm using relatively the right terminology and I have a general understanding of how it works, but I don't know so deep that I can tell you exactly what's occurring. But all you need to know is effort, errors, attached dopamine. Fuck, I don't know why. Why can't I put this finger up? Oh Jesus Christ! But this is literally autism. Like I can't put my third finger out. Can anybody else do this? Effort, errors, dopamine. This is a fucking Jesus. But anyways, back to actually drawing, right? Because that's what this channel is about. But anyways, for the most of you, this channel is just about some dickhead yelling at a piece of paper while he's in extreme discomfort. And then lo and behold, 1,000 hours later, it's like, oh shit, he's actually pretty good. And another 2,000 hours later, it's like, oh my god, is he gonna do it? Is he actually gonna reach mastery? And it's like, oh no, he died. He died before he could become a master because he only drew for 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. But he gave everybody the perspective of what it takes to become excellent, right? So thank you, Biggie. You're welcome, Biggie. Where's the money? He's dead. It doesn't fucking matter. It's all in an account that will never be released. I'll make sure my kids will never get it either. What is that fucking what was that book series? By the way, while I'm talking, I'm drawing. But what was that book series where some dude died and then he left the 39 clues? 39 clues. Yeah. Like the dude died. There was like family and he left them a bunch of fucking clues for his wealth. And it's just like that dude, such good books. I miss the books from my Animorphs, 39 clues. The fucking there's quite a few. Right, Dora the Explorer, right? I think they made a spin-off book about that. Pretty good shit. But anyways, Jesus fucking Christ. Shit jokes aside, there's a lot more I can't think of. Oh, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, or something like that, right? Also really good. The Secrets of Droon, right? Oh, I love that shit, bro. The Secrets of Droon, oh my god. I have a bunch of those books. I fucking loved all the random plot twists and shit. But anyways, let me try thinking, because I'm trying to think about the center plane. So I need to think about the center plane. I need to think about how it all relates, right? So I need to really get this mental model. And this is what's really grinding my brain right now, right? Because what I'm doing is, like, again, you see my hand, like, it stops here. My ghosting stops here, but the plane ends here. So I need to really, again, this is where seeing through the plane. And this is why, like, when I'm ghosting this, before I make this mark, I need to immediately, like, see through the entire form and see the cross axis, right? And then be like, oh, okay, it goes here, right? And then we bring it up. And again, that's the diagonal, vertical, horizontal, right? So we bring it back up, right? And then same thing, diagonal, vertical, horizontal. And we bring it all the way around, right? All the way around, just around here, and then down here again, which is diagonal, vertical, horizontal. Fucking vertical, horizontal, Jesus Christ. You can see, like, again, this angle I really struggle. Look how, like, clean this is versus, like, how my hand's like, when I go horizontal. So, like, this angle in general I struggle with. But I need to constantly, like, I need to really start seeing these three planes. And this is, like, the next step is, like, I have to grind my brain to not only see through the form, see all, Jesus Christ, all the cross sections, but I need to see the center planes. I need to see the center planes of this box, right? And that in of itself, and, like, again, right now I'm trying to see this in this center plane, like, on the invisible side. Oh my god, this, I'm trying to see it, but, like, to see it, I need to see this diagonal, this vertical, this horizontal, right? And then at least to connect to this entire bottom one. Dude, like, I cannot. I can actually. I can. I'm just saying I cannot. So like I can. I can't even explain. I can't even tell you the I cannot fathom the fathomableness of this. It's just so difficult. It's so amazing. And again, like I'm forcing myself to feel amazing. Like I just forced another wave of like this feels amazing. This feels good, right? And like and I just lost it. Like this center line just went like this. It's supposed to be like this, right? Following the perspective, it literally just went to shit. Went like that, and then you feel good about that because like that's a mistake, right? So I just have to constantly see the form, and this is the next step. Because what, it's been 44 minutes, right? So I need to actively spend out this next bit of time, because you see how long it's taken me just for this is my new schema, this is a new angle, right? This is a new perspective for me to see the schema in, right? But now I have to constantly see the center planes intersected, and that is extremely difficult. Like that is extremely difficult. Like goddamn, I can't even explain how fucking difficult that is, because I can barely do this horizontal one right now, right? But I need to fucking push through and be like, shut the fuck up, brain, shut the fuck up. You're gonna do it. So it starts right here, because this is where my center starts, right? So even to get that down, to get this center down, I need to be able to see this diagonal, right? And this diagonal, it's like right here. So I need to see that to bring it over here. See that center plane, I need to visualize that. And while I'm visualizing that, I need to see all the other ones as well. My eyes are getting so warm right now. Holy fuck, holy fucking shit, right? This is so incredibly difficult, it's amazing, and I just made another mistake. I started with this perspective, the visible one. It's actually much more difficult. I'd say at least 3 times more difficult, if not 5 times more difficult. A completely arbitrary measurement that I'm just making up, but it's a fuck ton more difficult for me to see and calculate from the seen through forms, like the invisible planes, right? Because that's all dependent on having a consistent connection right here, this upside down Y, as I'll call it. But bro, this pit of discomfort I'm feeling right now, holy shit. So this is what I need to lean into, because I can't see the 3 individual planes. Fuck me, I dropped my water bottle. I can barely even see one invisible center plane, right? And by invisible, I mean just on like the invisible plane side. I can barely even see just one center plane, right? Calculated from the invisible side. So I'm trying to brute force my brain right now. I'm literally trying to brute force my brain right now to see through. And it's making tons of errors. Like, it's not even completing, by the way. Like it's stopping this one here when it should be way back here. It's barely seeing this one here, starting it here when it should be starting down here, right? Like, in this one, it's not even fucking thinking about. And when it is, it's like, oh god, like this fucking line, which is supposed to be going this way, right? It's going that way. So these are things that, because again, I'm in output regression. My working memory is absolutely taxed. Don't forget, these are 30 plus calculations minimum I'm trying to hold in my mind all at once. And your brain can only hold, I think, 4 to 9. So I'm literally tripling the load, and I'm forcing my brain to come up with a way, to prune the synapses and to come up with a much more efficient way to chunk this information. Because again, this needs to be chunked. These 3 planes need to be chunked. This entire schema needs to be chunked, right? Before even putting down the ellipses. Literally before even putting down the ellipses, right? Like before even putting this shit down, let's see, and then this one, right? Like before even putting that one down, right? And then like connecting the fucking sphere, right? Before doing any of that, this needs to be understood, right? And this is 100% necessary to build, and because this is a mental model, like this is a simulation. I'm gonna like update the resources in my description, which will show like everything that I'm looking at and trying to understand and analyze in my spare time, like, and by all the time, like I don't do it all the time. I do for like maybe 10 minutes a day, 10-20 minutes a day max, where I just look at it and try to understand it better. But of the sphere, the box, and I found a new one which has the Loomis head with this fuckery. It literally shows the Loomis head like this, by the way. I found one on, again, what's it called, fucking Cube Brush, right, where it shows the Loomis head like this. Let's see, what is it, fucking this way, and what else? Oh, this way, right? It shows it like this, right? And then it shows it like, there you go, like that, right? And then it brings this one outward a little bit. There you go. It shows the Loomis head like this. So I'll link that too, because it literally shows what I'm trying to build. But the thing is, like, this is the mental model that I'm trying to build, right? This is the simulation I'm trying to build in my mind. But this is the extra step to that I'm adding. This is literally why it's gonna take me hundreds of hours, because this is the simulation I'm trying to build in my mind, right? This, and then seeing through the form. All this bullshit. It's not bullshit, by the way, but I'm saying like this is the level of absolute fuckery that I'm trying to build in my mind, right? But I'll link it. Like what you need to know is like the links in description. When I'll probably call it like art resources with some stupid name or some shit, but like it's art resources, and I'm basically trying to consolidate those three individual things in those links, like those three models that are already difficult to understand, into one fused mental model that I can just add forms on. Like that is the goal, and to be able to rotate at any angle. I might actually be here for 500 hours. Who fucking knows? Because this is extremely difficult. Bless me. This is genuinely extremely difficult, but this is going to create such strong draftsmanship abilities. Like this is probably work that nobody really does, right? I feel as if I'm not saying I'm that right now, but I feel as if what I'm aspiring for is something only like literally the top 1% of draftsmen will ever have achieved, right? I.e. the people I look up to, right? Like I'm sure Kim Jong-il sees that shit in his mind. And if he didn't, and he saw some more shit, then it just goes to show what the human mind is capable of, right? What human effort, right? This is why I don't think AI is ever going to replace this shit, because not in terms of like interest, right? Like the dipshits, the absolute fucking retards, the morons, right? The ones who don't matter, who will only value cheap popcorn, like essentially outputs, right? Will never care about the effort in the first place, because these are people who probably never tried at anything. And even if they did, that's just some weird fucking like contradiction that's happening there, where they tried at one thing but then they don't care about this other thing. People are fucking dumb. But the point is, I guess in terms of art, just human effort, I think human effort will always be valuable, right? And if it isn't, that just means humanity's lost its way. Like if you don't give a shit about the effort, then I mean, like, it's just part of Western society too, right? Like, everybody's fucking super results focused, and everybody wants, like, people love the myth of the genius born, and, like, the born genius who never had to try. Well, dumbass, here's the reality, right? Even the fucking born genius, not that I'm the genius, but I'm saying even the born genius had to put in fucking thousands of hours of effort to live up to his genius, by the way, let it be known, to live up to his or her genius. I'm very male-dominated and male-centric language, of course, I apologize. His or her genius, is that better? Fucking, like, what is it, 20% female audience? You guys don't give a shit, bro. But anyways, yes, their genius. How about that? Their genius. Xam's genius. Right? Is that better? Am I appealing to the masses? Don't appeal to the masses. Appeal to yourself, Vicky. Oh, you are very attractive. Thank you. That was quite appealing. You're welcome. Did that make sense? No, it didn't. Am I talking shit to avoid the responsibility of visualizing this thing? Yes, I am. Okay, I need to shut the fuck up then. See? Like, your brain will do stupid shit, right? All to not calculate, which I need to lean the fuck into right now. I need to lean into, and I just need to see the center lines to the absolute best of my ability. And I'm actively forcing my brain to actually see the genuine depth that I've created here, because it keeps wanting to stop here. Like my brain, for the invisible part, right, like for the center line, it wants to stop right here. But I have to double that. I have to double that and be like, shut the fuck up. You are not stopping there. And this is extremely difficult, by the way, because to see this, to like properly, I still have to calculate this center plane. Whew, oh my god, like it's like a wave of discomfort through my body. It's incredible how difficult this is. And it's incredible how through sheer effort and through attaching dopamine to that effort, I can will myself to get through it, right? Just like you can will yourself to get through it. But what you will yourself to get through will be different than what I'm willing myself to get through if we're in different stages of our learning, our practice, our intensity, our understanding, and our reasoning, right? It's all sequential, it's all contextual, and it's all anal. Right, I just wanted to add another "ol," and I thought that was pretty appropriate because this is a family-friendly Christian channel, as per Modest Pelican. Hi there, lads and lasses. And anyways, I love that guy. Anyways, I'm really trying to calculate this. I am definitely an output regression because I can't see shit, right? But now I have to do the even more difficult thing. Is like while I try to fucking hold these three center planes in my mind, which I can barely see, by the way, because I'm fucking barely just getting this center one down. That's projected outward from this one, right? Projected out from this one, this visible one, right? I'm barely getting that one down in the center, right? I'm barely getting it down in the center. See, and it's like you see my hands going this way when it should be following the perspective, but I'm barely getting that one down, right? And now I have to like get the other two planes down as well, right? I have to get those other two planes down as well. And I'm not ghosting, I'm just really trying to think about it. I really have to get these other two planes down, right? And then while I do that, I have to think about the ellipses inside these planes, right? Which is basically impossible for me currently, because my brain is like fucking fried just trying to think about all this right now. But I can barely get all of it down. I'm really trying to. Every time I think about any line, I'm thinking about the fucking adjacent like dozen calculations that are happening. So when I think about this line that's from this center plane or this plane, I'm thinking about this center plane line, right? Thinking immediately this diagonal, this vertical, this horizontal, this vertical, right? And then like this. Like I'm trying. Am I doing it? No, I'm not doing it at all. But I'm trying to even keep that in my mind, let alone be able to accomplish it, right? Like there's a lot fucking going on, right? But I'm using my finger right here just as an anchor point, just so I can at least try to like conceptualize the center planes, right? Just so I can at least try to conceptualize the center planes. And am I succeeding? No, but I'm trying, right? Again, I'm trying to conceptualize the center planes, and I can't really see all of them all at once, but whew, okay, let me rest my brain again, because I was leading into that for a little bit. Fuck, it's been 54 minutes? Okay, we're just gonna have to, like, to the absolute best of our ability, which is gonna be nothing in this case, right? Because, again, this is amazing. This was so difficult. I'm just gonna have to try to see the ellipses inside those center planes while calculating, and then just fucking create somehow, through some fucking miracle in my mind, pull it out of my ass, attach, like, the edges to create that perfect circle, the sphere, right? And then add the features of the actual guy's face on top of it. He's actually covering his chin because he was doing some cringe anime thing where his hands covering his chin. He's like, oh yes, Naruhodo, right? So I'm just gonna have to pretend like I'm just gonna have to figure out where his chin is, which shouldn't be that hard because it's all constructed technically, right? It's a model. But anyways, both literally and figuratively in my mind. But anyways, let's rest our brains. It is gonna be an insane day though, the day that I can see this literally fused in my mind. That is, it's gonna be an incredible feeling, right? Not because like I can do it technically. Yeah, it'll feel good to do it, but just the fact that like I'll be like, holy fuck, the amount of hours it took to get to this point. It's why anytime I draw a cylinder, right, or a box or whatever, like I know how many hours it took me to just do this, but in my mind to see this, right? Like to see something like this, like I know how many hours. The answer is 200, right? The answer is at least 150 to 200, right? And this is equally was and will always be what the fuck, and always will be in the history of my drawing, right? As difficult as this is right now, right? The only difference is I can just see a fuck ton more, but it's still extremely difficult to see all those things. But yeah, let's do the most difficult thing of all, which is try to see the entire fucking center plane, everything, and just try to see all the ellipses inside of it, which is what I'm doing right now, right? Like just try to see absolutely everything and tax the fuck out of my brain, right? And just try to see the sphere, because I still have to think about the ellipse, right? So this ellipse in the center, and then this ellipse in the center, right? And then this one's just like basically a circle, right? And then this one in the center, right? And now where are they meeting? Because I can't fucking see that. I can just do them individually. You think I can see them all together? Fuck no, absolutely fucking not. But I have to somehow figure out some sort of buttfuckery in the mind. Not even somehow figure out. The logic is all there. I just need to somehow will my brain to use energy that it doesn't have to see something that it can't possibly fathom currently, right? In conjunction with all the dozens of calculations that are occurring alongside of it, right? Because it has to be fused. Oh my god. Okay, so let me like really try to lean in. Oh, dude, a pit of discomfort's back, everybody. Pit of discomfort in my stomach is back. Never mind, that was just a burp. No, it's there. It's there. I just need to. Holy shit! I cannot see anything. Complete output regression. But this is the feeling you want, by the way. I can only get, quote unquote, if achievement is the goal, which it isn't, right? But to get to that point where everything is fused, I must go through this extreme discomfort. Right? And that's all it is, by the way. People attach the words pain and like grueling and like, oh, I'm in the grind. Like, no, bro, it's fucking get your head out of your ass. It's not that fucking serious. It's just discomfort, right? It's very difficult, obviously. It is, and you are serious, as in you are seriously trying to get good, right? But it's just discomfort. Don't be such a fucking bitch about it. Don't be so fucking dramatic, right? Like, I get it. Like, I get dramatic too in the sense I'm like, oh, it's hard, like, and it is difficult. But what do I always say? I don't say, I'm so sad, I'm crying, oh, it's so difficult. I say it's just fucking effort, right? It's just fucking effort, you know? And that is something we learn how much effort we can put in as we continue to put in effort. And I'm learning about that about myself every fucking second I try. I'm like, I think I can try harder, or I think this is the limits of my trying, or I think I can push, I think I can maintain this, all that shit. Right now I'm learning that my limit right now is I can barely just see the inside of the box, right? Like the seen through forms, and I'm trying to constantly see the cross axis, and like, I'm always trying to see that, by the way. And I haven't mentioned it because I focus on to the center plane, but the cross axis has to exist for me to calculate the center plane, right? The diagonal, vertical, horizontal, right? And I'm trying to see all of that right now, while also trying to see the ellipses in the center, and my brain is fucking dying. Like, I really trying to, and again, I keep making this the back end, but this is the back end, so I need to push that back, right? And now my brain, I'm constantly trying to see these center lines, I'm constantly trying to see the center planes, right? And that's extremely difficult right now. It's extremely fucking difficult. I can barely see this one that's projected out over for the front one right here. Whew, that's extremely difficult, and I'm genuinely trying my hardest to see it, right? And it's making a mistake. Like this corner of this center plane, this horizontal one, right? This plane, right? Like it's like back here when it should be over here. It's back here, right? I'm like projected way outward, but it needs to be right here. And now I'm trying to put ellipses inside of it. And again, pit of discomfort's back. Just got to keep pushing through. I'm trying to put ellipses inside of it while I'm trying to see this fuckery, like this, all these green lines. I'm trying to see all of that. And the pit's back. Really, oh, dude, I can't see anything. I literally cannot see anything. This is amazing. This feels amazing. This is when I keep telling my brain, like, this feels amazing, right? Because I'm making the mistakes that are required for me to make the connections and the corrections subconsciously in my brain. Neural fucking plasticity, synapses, whatever bullshit, right? Myelination, myelin sheath, the dendrites, axons, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's all about just making a fuck ton of mistakes, trying your hardest, using your damn parietal lobe, and just attaching dopamine to effort, to errors, to mistakes. And that's all I can do right now. Because I know I'm making dozens of mistakes. I keep losing it. I still can't see the ellipses at all. I can barely see the center planes. I can like fucking 5% there, right? But just trying to constantly oscillate. So I'm trying to like really get the center plane logic down, right? Really get this one, right? And then what is it? And then this one, right? The horizontal one. Like I'm trying to get, and that's what you see how like I'm starting with the back now, because that's good. Like I'm starting with the invisible side, right? And that is hopefully going to help me. Like I can just for a second, I saw them all fused together. Just for a second, I need to lead into that. I saw them all, just the back sides, not even the front sides, but I saw them all fused together, right? And again, like then I lost the center line, I lost the cross axis. Okay, now I gotta like somehow just not even half-assed, but just to the best of my ability, try to calculate the ellipse inside of them, and then make my sphere that's connecting them, right? Just it's not half-assed, but it's basically gonna be very incorrect because I can't see everything, and now I need to see the center line, and this is where my eyebrows are. I'm just gonna assume in the sense that like to the best of my ability calculate, I'm gonna make a guesstimation, right? Based on that this is where my center line is. So I need to see this dickhead's eyebrows, and I need to be like, okay, this is where his eyebrows are. And he has very straight eyebrows, honestly, very impressive, very, very straight eyebrows. And again, like same, and again, I keep making the fucking eyebrows way too wide apart. So that's more accurate, right? And let's see, we gotta think about the ellipse, right? We gotta think about the ellipse. Again, my brain doesn't even have the fucking cognitive capability to think about the ellipse right now, but we just have to think about it. And by the way, like proportions are gonna be off for the actual features, right? Spacing is gonna be off because my brain cannot even fathom to add proportions and spacing and lines and like on top of a sphere that it cannot fathom, right? So it's extremely difficult. Like it's just, and I don't think I did the ratios right. Like I genuinely don't know if I did it right. That's the top, that's the forehead, it's this, and then the nose should be right around here then. So we'll do something like this to get the nose down, right? And then that's the nostril, right? I saw this line. This is like a little line that just showcases the depth, I guess. Didn't really need to add it, but I added it anyways. And then I'm trying really hard to calculate all of this. I can't see anything anymore because once I start adding these features, I'm telling you, I can't see shit because I'm looking back and forth at the portrait, right? I'm looking back at the reference itself and I'm really trying to get it down, right? And what does that mean? That means I'm completely losing any calculation that I can make, and I'm just trying to the absolute best of my ability just to keep this fucking, just this there, just this. just this, because the center lines and everything and the ellipses, like that's all fucking gone. That's all just basically gone, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not trying. I'm trying, but my brain cannot hold it together, man. It just cannot hold it together, right? And this guy's lips are like slightly open. Yeah. Fucking, obviously, I love it when the pen just tells me that, no, sorry, like, we're not gonna work today. We're just not gonna work today. We're gonna make your lines look actually 10 times worse than they actually are. Right? So, and then let's just get his eyes. I think I made his eyes a bit too close together. Right? But I have a huge, not headache, but a pressure in my head. Right? I have a huge pressure in my head. And that's good. That's very good. Right? And I don't know what the fuck his chin is, but I guess his chin's like somewhere around here. Right? Then we got the jaw. And obviously, again, fucking pen just wants me to suck my own dick, right? Which I'll do in the off time, but not during practice, bro. Not doing practice, come on. But there you go. Just something like that, right? And that's basically where I believe, I could be completely wrong. Like, this was a guesstimate. Like, this was me, my brain, complete output regression, having to draw form on top of it, like, completely fucked my brain up. So, on top of the calculation, right? But now let's actually draw what I was. Let's see what I got. Like maybe I cannot think, bro. I literally cannot think. My brain's just dead. But let's see what my brain needed to see. Right. This is pretty accurate. Like, this is what I was relatively visualizing. So there you go. That's the see-through form, right? That's the box. That's the box. That's what I was trying to see through, right? And now we're gonna draw all the cross axes. Right diagonal. You're gonna see how bad my lines are in this angle. You see how like curved? Okay, well I was really trying there because I was concentrating, which is good. Right, diagonal. Vertical. Because it is important for me to still concentrate while I'm drawing these. Right? I know like it's the end of the session, so I'll say this, like always. Like constantly on the end of the session, my brain just, I made this line wrong. It's supposed to be straighter. There you go. That's a lot better. You see? Because then otherwise this back plane looks fucking stupid and just incorrect. But like at the end of the session, my brain just wants to, like it just wants to relax, right? Like my brain genuinely doesn't want to do any work because it's been an hour, right? Like this is like an hour of deep, intensive cognitive work, right? Like, in just deep work, that's what it is. It's just deep. It's not just deep work, but it is deep work, right? So obviously my brain is just like, bruh, just do you have to think about the cross axis? So it's like, yeah, bro, I'm fucking trying to draw it out, so of course I have to think about it. Can't be fucking it up that badly, right? I think that center line is okay. It has its inaccuracies. Again, like that's because I'm not drawing everything super perfectly either. Right, but that's like the first step is what I'm trying to visualize, right? And then on top of that, immediately it's like, okay, now we visualize the visible planes, right? And these are all chunked. Like this basically is its own thing that I'm trying to create as like your brain is trying to consolidate into, it's off center. Your brain's trying to consolidate into chunked information, right? Like this, the unseen side with all the cross sections. And then it's like, okay, then the other side is the seen side, which my brain is already pretty effective at consolidating and chunking because it's done that for almost 100 hours, right? But that doesn't mean it's doing it perfectly. This is where again, like I'm starting to fucking confuse myself. But there you go. The same thing here. Like where the fuck am I? Jesus Christ, I'm here. Like this. By the way, this is literally what I'm trying to see. Like I want to be very clear. This is literally what I'm trying to see in my mind. This is why I keep saying drawing is fucking thinking. Because it is thinking. I'm literally thinking. I'm thinking to the absolute best of my ability. It is very, see, that's this center plane we got now, right? And let's see, let's get this center line. See, and then we have this back center plane, right? That will connect like so, but we'll get the diagonal down first. So like this is, again, that's why the center planes are their own units, because they are very difficult to understand. Where the fuck is this? Where the fuck is, okay, it's right here. Jesus Christ. I'm losing everything. And then this center plane right here. There you go. So yeah, those are the three center planes, right? Those are the three center planes that's why it's individual, because like first just seeing all the cross axes visible on the invisible and visible side right? And then being like, wait, but then there's also these, that's already difficult enough as it is, but then to like make the connection that there's this plane, and then this plane, and then this plane, right? That's all very difficult. So these are like the first 3 to 4 steps. There's essentially 3 to 4 layers of perspective that I'm trying to see, right? And then is also pretty difficult, which is like placing an accurate ellipse inside of them in perspective, right? So this one, I'm pretty sure, because this is this one that's projected outward from the front, something like this. And I do have to think a lot. And again, don't forget, I'm fucking getting confused by the goddamn excess amount of lines. But there you go. This one's like this, right? And then there's this one, this side one, right? That I also have to be like, look, I already fucked up the perspective a little bit, but this is something like this, I believe. Oh, fuck, it's like way too, I didn't do it properly at all, but it's, there you go, something like that. Something like that. And then there's this one, this top one that's projected outward, and then I have to be like, okay, what's this one like? Well, this one I believe is something like this, right? That's a bit too wide. Again, I'm making these like pretty inaccurate. They're not the best, but that's the idea. And then the wonderful, wonderful next level part of that is, so I am like, the thing is like, at least I'm, even with my guesstimations, the placement is pretty decent, right? Like of like where it placed the features, like that's okay. And then it's this, where I have to connect. Is this fucking pen gonna, whatever, bro. This is, and then you're just connecting them as like the sphere, right? So it's literally this. You know, you can't see it at all because my pen wants me to go fuck myself, but it's, this is the sphere, right? This is actually pretty good. Dude, can I please, Kami-sama. God damn it, I'm gonna switch pens. No, now maybe this one got to fucking marinate in its own ink, but yeah, there you go. It's like this, right? And I have to like really zoom out, and that's why you have to connect and be aware that these, like this is the ellipse that you're building, or the sphere that you're building. You see, like I'm not that good at connecting it, but that's basically it, right? This is the sphere. And then, yeah, you see, like you have the eyes, you know, everything's connected, right? You have the eyes, you have the features, right? All that stuff, right? But this is all what it's based off of, you know? And then I think the ears, that gets cut out, because there's actually still like another cutout that has to occur with the sphere, but I'm not even gonna think about that until I get this mental model down. This is the first step. This is the first step, which is gonna be a couple 100 hours, right? I love this. I'm probably gonna be here for a very, I say this every time, but I'm definitely gonna be here for a very long time. But yeah, that was the session. Fucking very, very taxing on my mind, very taxing on my working memory, very taxing. It's all cognitive endurance, right? I do this every day, or no, I do this 5 days a week, 1 hour, just constantly just trying to fucking, just putting my best efforts forth. And if I can do it, you can do it. Simple as that. There's nothing that separates me from you. And again, I want to keep fucking saying, because I feel as if I'll mention Sor Chromo again, because I feel as if he got in his own head. He's one of my fans. I think he was a fan, or at least he pulled up every now and then, right? And like talked to him on Discord. But he ended up assuming that because I'm doing such intensive cognitive work to this scale, that he had to get to this scale as well. It's like, no, you try your hardest, cognitively, physically, motor skills, and mental effort, and spatial reasoning, to what you're currently working on. So if you're working on the beginning, which is lines, planes, just 1 point perspective, and I say just, I know it's not just, but I'm just saying like, yeah, just 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, which are all very difficult, will require hundreds of repetitions and dozens of hours to get decently proficient at, let alone be able to visualize that accurately, which will take probably close to 100 hours like it did for me, 100 to 150, then yeah, that's what you have to focus on, right? It's like you focus on what you can conceptualize, but you can't do, you know? And yeah, you technically might be able to conceptualize this, maybe, but if even like half of this gives you a fucking headache, you're not here. You're not here, and that's normal, that's okay, and that's actually good, because it gives you a frame of reference, right? It's like, dude, like I get a headache when I think about planes. Like one single plane that has to pay attention to 2 vanishing points, that really fucks my brain up. I get the concept, but when I start doing it, it's like, damn, that's hard. Okay, focus on that, get fucking really good at that, and then add 2 more planes and turn into a box, right, for the visible, and then start seeing through the box. It's all sequential, so you focus your hardest on what you can currently do in terms of what you can currently conceptualize, but you struggle with actually applying proficiently. And then you have to be honest with yourself. It's like, are you actually good at this? Are you actually able to do this with relatively minimal effort? Because if you aren't, hundreds of hours to get good at it. And if you are, what's the next step? right? What's the next iteration? What is the next thing that gives you a headache that you can now put a shit ton of fucking time into, right? And enjoy doing and put your absolute best foot forward to try. So yeah, like this is not a reflection of what you should be doing. This is simply a reflection of what continuing to do takes you, right? Like where it takes you, and like in this geometric understanding perspective scale, right? And again, the whole point of this is to build a foundation. Again, the goal is to see this entire schema in my mind, in any perspective, and then I start adding the features, the simplified features of the Loomis head, and then the complex versions. It's all the obviously all the artwod roadmap, right? Portrait roadmap, huge. Always just credit to them again. Guys, like seriously, if you don't want to think about what to do, but you just want to think while you're doing it, artwod. Seriously, they're the reason I can draw like this. They're the reason that I don't have a visual library. I don't understand anything apart from line, form, and perspective. Nothing else apart from those three things, and barely at that. And yet this looks believable. Let me say that again. They're the reason it's because of them that sheerly through understanding form, right? Mainly form, but yeah, line and perspective, which is obviously part of that, huge is a part of that. But just through form, I can draw things that look believable, right? Not good, not designed well, not composed well, not gesturally fluent or nice, right? Not good line weight, none of that shit, but just believable and perhaps interesting, right? To this degree, right? So again, 3 years and 7 months, right, of sheer just focusing on fundamentals and learning to enjoy it, because it taught me to learn to enjoy it, right? So yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. And as always, I hope you put a lot of fucking effort in, right? And I'm not saying you're gonna draw like me. I'm saying that your ability to create will, the more proficient you get at form, line, and perspective, the more proficient you'll be able to actually bring about the things you want to bring about, right? It's literally a hack. Just throw your fucking ego aside. You have an ego, right? Get rid of that shit. It's in the fucking garbage now, all right? It doesn't fucking matter. Your ego is literally nothing compared to the reality of the skills that you must build, right? And if that reality of the skills that you must build is in conflict with what your actual reality is, or what you believe your reality is, or the skills that you think you want to build, then that takes a moment to step back and be like, do I actually want to get to this level of skill? Do I actually want, like, what level of skill do I want? And then you are honest with the effort it will take to get there, and then you're honest with the amount of effort you're willing to put in to get there, like to do that effort to get there, right? So just stop being a fucking, stop lying to yourself is basically it, right? Just stop lying to yourself. I know nothing. Like I know nothing. And I know when I die, I'll know nothing. My journey is just to try to understand. That's it. That's just my journey. That's literally just my journey, you know? And the output, the outcome, the fucking result is just a byproduct of the efforts of trying to understand within my journey, right? And with that philosophizing aside, right? Hashtag Viggy says profound things that you will not actually listen to, because it's the end of the video and nobody's here. But with that being said, as always, I hope you put a lot of effort in, and fuck you for watching. Jesus, forgot my outro. Fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing, and please, diddle my love.